Hi, everybody. This is Jim Cornette, pro wrestling legend, and you're listening to the Book in the Territory Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast.
This is the artist formerly known as Daryl Van Horn, James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister, and I'm here to let you know I would rather slam my cock in a car door than to miss the dulcet tones of Hard Body Harper, my illegitimate son, on Booking the Territory podcast.
Woo, Messi, this is professional wrestler Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man. Tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss Booking the Territory. Oh, yeah.
This is a one-man gang. You're listening to Booking the Territory Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where today we are covering WCW Saturday Night on TBS from October the 3rd, 1992. If you're listening to this on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button to like the video, select subscribe to sub to the channel, or subscribe, as Harper likes to say, and make sure you leave a comment or two. Those pesky algorithms like that sort of thing, and it helps grow the little small YouTube channel we have. Now, on that note, let me welcome in the Jimmy Jam Garvin of BTT, who is here filling in this week and next for the drunk degenerate Doc Turner, mean Mike Crockett from the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing. Crockett, nice to have you back in the saddle again.
Yeah. Jimmy Jam is in. He's not in WCW much longer, but he's here on BTT.
I think he's done by this point, but yeah. Oh man, the Twitter people love the yeah that you've stolen and co-opted from Jimmy Jam Garvin in that ridiculous promo he cut on one of the Saturday nights we were doing. But
yeah, I forget who it was. Someone originally linked me to Jimmy Jam on the BTT Facebook group. So I've clearly I've owned that, and yes, I am the Jimmy Jam of the BTT podcast. I feel like I should, since I'm in Doc's chair, maybe I should do a little Doc disclaimer like he does when Harper is coming, right?
Harper is supposed to be here. Let's see if this is him texting, and it is him. He says he is on, so let me conference him in right now. So there you go. You were right on time, as Harper is now. I'm going to conference him in. As I'm doing that, I want to give a special shout out to our big time Patreon contributors monthly, Disrespectfully Classy, Marky Blassie, Mike Childry, Joe Ice, and good old Justin. Thank you for your generous support on Patreon each and every month and being some of the largest sponsors of this show. We appreciate the support. And there is Harper. We are already recording, and here he is. What's up, man?
Hey. Hi.
Whoa.
Hey.
Whoa.
Oh, look at this. Jesus. The Lance Von Erich of the BTT.
Not even Lance Peterson.
Or as me and Doc call him, the White Mike.
Jesus. No, he's the Jimmy Jam Garvin of BTT, because whenever I introduce him, if you were on time, you would hear him go, yeah, like Jimmy Garvin would do in them stupid-ass promos. You're an idiot, man. Let me tell you. You are an idiot.
That's nice.
I know. What's up, man? How you doing? You had a good day today at the shoot job, or you get any chili cheese hot dogs from the salvage store? What's going on?
Bruh, have y'all ever watched that show, Love on the Spectrum?
Oh, my God.
I've just seen ads for it.
Oh,
haven't seen it.
You should watch it. It's addictive.
No. Harper, my wife, and soon-to-be 16-year-old daughter were watching it.
Oh, yeah,
about a week ago, and I kept going in the room angry at them for watching that, because I am like, this is not funny. Why are they putting this as a show on TV? And they're like enthralled, like they can't look away because it's
I couldn't
so
stop
entertaining.
watching it, bro. Because you want them to find love so bad.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, this is the one. And then they're like, oh, we're just gonna be friends. You're like, oh fuck.
Is it like a game show? Is it like
No,
No.
it's just people with like different degrees of autism.
Yeah.
And they want to find a partner, a girlfriend, or a boyfriend, and they go to those the speed dating things for autism people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's how it starts.
I just feel like they're being exploited.
Come on.
I do, man. Like, I'm not outraged by the fact that, like, I think there's some good in it because, like, they're autistic, there are various degrees of it, and they're, you want to match them with someone like them, not going to take advantage of them, but it, like, when I watch it, I'm like, this feels dirty. Like, why? I don't know, man. And again, I am one of them. I'm a type of dude who nothing offends me. Like, I watch stuff and go, oh, whatever. I'm going to cut the grass. But I watch that and I go, is this right? Like, should we really be having this show on TV? That's what I mean by that. Like, I'm like,
well, because you're like, come on, man, this is it. Oh, she went on a date with him, and then it's they're just friends. Fuck.
Right. Yeah. So it just feels weird, man, when you watch it. And I said, my wife and daughter, they couldn't look away.
The first episode, like, you're gonna call in sick tomorrow just to finish it.
Jesus.
Well, they're not like mentally challenged, right? They just can't communicate well.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, some of them have Down. Like, there was a one girl who had Down syndrome, right, Harper?
I think the only one with Downs was when they were the girl that he's talking to. She has Downs.
Yeah, she has Down syndrome.
Right, but the actual people on the show, it's just people with different degrees of autism.
Oh, so it's not autism and autism, two autistic people? It can be...
Right. I mean, they got one of them. It's a guy with autism, and he's just going out like with a regular girl.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think she was regular from what I saw, but okay. That sounds so mad. That sounds mean when I say regular. Okay, that just I don't want to.
They got a black lesbian girl.
Okay, I didn't see that, but of course.
She's 18 and she's really young, and she dresses like strawberry shortcake or something.
They need to be I hope okay. They ain't getting paid enough for this show. That's what would make me mad. Like, I feel
they do like almost like Comic-Con type shit now.
Okay, well, good. I hope they're making money off of being exploited. Is what I'm saying.
That's nice.
I don't know, man. That show is weird, man.
I'm trying to raise awareness for autism.
I'm not saying
everyone deserves love, Mike Mills.
I totally agree, but when you watch this show, it's like, oh my God. That's all I'm saying.
Bro, they got one dude. All these people never really been with, they're not experienced. And they got this one dude, he's like 23. And it gets to the point where you're like, bro, just stop being a bitch and ask the girl out, bro.
He doesn't. You see, that's what I'm saying. He's can't say that about him.
I don't want to sound too forward or you kind of, but I'm like, just ask her out again, bruh.
Harper.
Jesus Christ.
they need like coaches. They need like Coach Harper in there.
Well, they do have coaches. There's someone to show them, like.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, so like, if you get to a conversation and you stop talking, that's okay. You just run out of things to talk, and just don't talk the whole time about yourself. Let them talk as well, and yada yada yada. Because that's how Mike met his wife.
Oh, he's autistic.
They see Harper there saying, "Come on, man, don't be a bitch."
Yeah, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Just knock it out, bro. Come on, clock in, motherfucker.
Harper, he's autistic. You can't just say just talk. Just stop talking. Like it's not something he can control.
No, but that's what. Well, come on. You say, look, do you want to go watch Harry Potter? Okay.
The one I saw, he was on a date at the zoo with the girl.
Yes, that
And
I think that was the one. I think that's one of my. I think that's the kid from. He's from Clemson. He's my favorite.
He was like, I don't remember the girl's name. That was the girl who had Down syndrome. And
Right, that was
I'm
the
sitting
girl
there.
that like he was dating.
Yeah, and he's like, are you having fun, Julie? Are you having fun, Julie? And she's like, yeah, I'm having fun. Are you having fun? Like he kept repeating himself, and that's why I was like, this ain't right. Like I feel like they were exploiting him. But I agree with you.
I don't think I could watch a show like that. I have this thing with like secondhand cringe.
Me too.
It just seems like that's going to be the entire show. Just be cringing the entire time.
You're like, man, I hope they find someone, and it's like, and then of course they show the parents, and they're like, I just don't want them to be alone, because when like we pass on, who's going to be there for them? And your heart just breaks for these people.
Man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You're right. Your heart just breaks. You're like, oh my God, I hope he settles. I hope he's, dates this girl, and something happens. And
see, the way this is I'm with Crockett. I think it's cringy, and that's why I'm like, this is wrong. But I also see the side that you just explained, where you want them, like even their parents are like, we want them to find someone, because one day we're not going to be here, and then I don't want my child to be alone in the world, like that type of feeling. And so that makes sense. You have to have that perspective. But I'm with Crockett, like I'm like cringing watching it.
They got one kid. He loves those shitty Michael Bay Transformer movies, and he's talking to this girl, and she's like, "I love Transformers," and his eyes just light up, like it's like Mike talking to his wife, and she says, "I love Mid-South Wrestling."
You should hear a podcast I used to do.
Yeah, I mean they just
right. Yeah, we're stupid. All right. That's funny. That was a good one. All right, Harper, any other thoughts? I got a couple of shout outs I got to get to, and then we got some stuff we need to talk about.
No.
All right, so real quick, I did want to shout out one new patron, Brett K. Thanks for becoming a BTT Hall of Fame patron. And if you want to be like Brett and become a patron, all you got to do is go to tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT to get access to 400 plus Patreon exclusive shows, including all of the Clash of the Champions we've done, which we're above 20 now, all of the WCW pay-per-views through the point in time that we're in right now in 1992, so much more, all available on Patreon. The NWA Power shows, ECW shows, the World Class shows with Lance and I, all are available on Patreon at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. And I also have a 5-star review to pull up from Apple Podcasts, but of course, my phone is running very slow and I cannot get to it, and it was a very good one. So on that note, let's go to the question we had, Crockett, since this thing's running slow. We got a question from Steve, who's a longtime listener of the show, and he had some questions about Sting's retirement. Now, this is pretty lengthy, so bear with me as I read this. He says, gentlemen, I know you guys don't watch AEW. You are correct, Steve. But I'm curious to get your thoughts about how Sting's retirement is being booked. If you have read anything about it, I'm sure you'll have thoughts. And then he goes on to say, so being old school WCW guys, what do you think what do you think of the retirement match? I have no issue with Darby Allin being involved, but the Bucks, what WTF? Are the fans getting another helping of Eric Watts syndrome? I'm going to stop right there for a second before I go to the rest of Steve's question. You're right, Steve. As I was telling you on Twitter, I don't watch AEW regularly. And my thoughts on Sting's retirement, I want to share something I was listening to related to John Pollock's show on Post Wrestling. Pollock said the Bucks were the perfect opponent. And what he meant by that was how hated they were. And I was worried when I heard it was going to be the Bucks, although I didn't watch it, that they were going to win those titles from him and Darby. From what I heard on Pollock's show, Sting won, and he rides off into the sunset. So because they did it like that, and although I didn't see it, I thought that was more than fine. Although I would have liked to have seen him step away on a larger platform like WWE. That's my thoughts. Crockett, what did you think?
Well, he tried to do that in WWE, and what they do?
Yeah.
Yes,
They had
I
him
agree.
fucking jump to Triple
Remember that?
H.
When he
Yes.
first debuted on Raw, like, oh my God, it's Sting. He's on WWE.
Yeah.
But here's
And
the thing.
yeah.
I wouldn't be, bro. What if he just goes to WWE years from now?
I mean, he's up there in age, Harper. I don't know, man. I mean, wrestlers never retire is the old adage, but
Yeah. I mean, look at Ric Flair. He's still throwing strikes.
Jesus.
Come
Yeah.
on, man. That's the nature boy.
Fuck, man. I saw the clip of him the week before the retirement match throwing those jabs, and just please give it up, dude.
But, I mean, my thing is, okay, now what?
now
Yeah,
what
how
in
long
terms
has
of
he signed
Flair
for? How long is
or
Rick there
Sting?
for?
No, like, okay, Sting retired. Okay, now why should I be invested in this product? Because there's no Sting now. Sting had his Peyton Manning moment. He's done. Okay, now why should I give a fuck about the Colts?
I mean, here's the thing. I wasn't interested. If you like
but
AEW,
that was their only. I mean, he was the only draw for. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not gonna say that, but
I mean, he was the biggest one.
MJF is out. But I mean, like he's a draw.
Right,
but
but
like,
he's out, bruh. So I mean, okay, now what?
I'm the wrong person to ask about AEW in general because I don't begrudge anyone who watches it. Watch what you want to watch. If that's what makes you happy, knock yourself out. Go do the Jaworski to it. Have fun. For me, it's just not for me. And I've stated that case a million times on air. I've tried a million times. I tried when Punk was there. The whole fiasco with Tony and Punk. I just can't. I can't watch it. It's not for me. But if you like it and that's the type of thing you like, go enjoy it and do the Jaworski to it. More power to you. But I mean, you're acting like Sting is the draw.
I mean, they sold that building before they knew who he was going to wrestle.
Yeah, they'll sell out Wembley again or put 40,000 people in there
They ain't
too.
selling that building out again. Oh, come on, dude.
Okay, 30,000 people. How's that sound?
Yeah, I would be surprised if it's like halfway full.
Maybe. But back to the question. This is just to close the loop on it. I mean, what you read, obviously, it doesn't sound like either of you watched it like me. I mean,
No, I didn't watch it because I got
Right.
shit to do. Here's the thing, bro. I'm not paying whatever it is,
$60 or whatever it is. Yeah.
$60 fucking dollars to sit through shit Sting at the end.
Well, they say it was the best AEW pay-per-view ever. The
Yeah, I mean-
Will Ospreay match was 7,000
It's like saying you gotta
stars.
get kicked in the balls 10 times before I can fuck J-Lo. No,
you do it.
maybe.
Yeah, you would do it. No, I feel bad because like there's people there that I like, but you're right. I'm not spending $50-$60 on a pay-per-view. This is not happening.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, just say 1985.
I don't even watch their free show, so obviously I'm not doing it. And I feel bad a lot of times because there are people there that I like. And actually, I was
Well, yeah,
talking
they
to
got people there I like too. It's just, look, hey, you know what's on right now? The Pelicans. That's what I'm watching.
well, I was gonna say
11 against Toronto.
great. I was gonna say like I've talked to several folks who, they're not the biggest AEW fans, and they flat out told me they actually enjoyed the pay-per-view. So like they said it was one of their better shows. I'm gonna take their word for it. That's great. I'm not gonna seek it out to watch it, but if they like it, good for them. I mean that's my feeling on it. It just ain't for me. I do think they did Sting right. Like to close the loop on Steve's question, I think they did it right. Like I like I said, I listened to Pollock's summary on it, and from what it sounded like, they did him excellent, and it was great the way they did it. And I'm glad because Sting deserved that after this, almost 40-year career at this point. So good for him. Sting, I'll never forget the first time I saw him in that Blade Runner gimmick. in UWF. If you would have told me that dude would have then went on the Clash of the Champions 1 and did what he did with Flair, and if you'd have told me that dude would have been, Crow Sting and would have went on to this just great career, I would have never believed it, because he was like a robot in the ring. He couldn't move. I mean, and it wasn't because he had muscles. It was just he just had no fluidity to him. He was just green and clueless. And look what he became, and they did right by him in the end of it. I don't think he's going to go to WWE and have any type of retirement match. I can't see that just because of his age. And, again, I know they did the one at the WrestleMania with him and Hunter, and, they shook hands and buried the war.
Whatever.
They buried.
Was so stupid, bro. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, I can't remember if he tried or he did hit him with a fucking sledgehammer, and then they hug afterwards. Does that make sense to you?
Bro, I don't. Like I said, that was all a show. It was cool. The best part about that, more than anything, was seeing Sting in a WWE ring after all those years.
Yeah.
That was the moment. Everything after that with the NWO coming out, I was like, okay, here we go. We're gonna put this war to rest at this point. But I think they did Sting right. And I don't know, Crockett, you got any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the consensus online, like I said, I didn't see it. The consensus online is that it was the perfect ending for Sting's career, and that's
good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. But I'm not gonna seek it out.
It definitely attracted the casual fan, which is what you need.
Has there been somebody during the era of, I agree with you, Harper, what you said there about the casual fan. Has there ever been somebody outside of, or anyone else outside of Sting, that you would say is as big of a star as he is during the era after the territories, is what I mean? Because the territory era is a little different. But from mid-'80s to now, has anybody up until this point been as big of a star without having that major WWE run? And I'm sure somebody's going to say such and such from New Japan, and like, it's all subjective, but I don't know if there's anybody, I think of Sting as the one guy who didn't have that long WWE run that became as big of a star as he is. I mean, the dude stayed in TNA for all those years. Think about that. After WCW.
Well,
never went to WWE.
Yeah, fuck, why are you going to leave?
Oh, dude, I totally agree. If you're making money and you can live the life you want to live, then why not? But I couldn't think of another name that became as big as him that never had the WWE machine behind him.
I'm sure someone will tell you.
Yeah, somebody will. It's cool.
Send email to Harper at what is it?
At Mike Mills, Mud Mike Mills at Twitter.
All right, let me go. Mike. And you alluded to the last thing I was going to ask, Crockett. One more thing Steve said. Am I wrong to think Ric Flair's trying to die in the ring? His latest amble in had an excellent Flair eye poke, and everything else was just a sad old man. It sucks to watch your favorite embarrass themselves at the end. Hey, you ain't got to tell me that, Steve. I saw his quote-unquote last match pay-per-view. That was a joke, and we reviewed it on Patreon. It was pathetic.
I think it's the only place where he truly feels like himself. It's in the ring. It's the only place he truly feels happy, and he feels young again.
And totally the fact that he spends money as fast as he makes it, and he needs to keep working.
Yeah.
No lies detected. So on that note, I do have a 5-star review to read on Apple Podcasts. This comes from Nathan Atlas, and the title says, "The Best Friends You'll Never Have." There are so many great things to say about this podcast. Unfiltered, funny, real, and all centered around old school wrestling. Doesn't get much better than that. However, I'm going to highlight the only negative. After listening to just one episode, you'll want to hang out with these guys. You'll want to be a guest on the show. You'll wish you could get drunk with Doc and listen to Soundgarden. You'll want to go to Kenny's Key West with Harper. You want to go to Kenny. You want to try and convince Mike to get back in the ring for one last match. Mike, what do you go to high school with him? Those things will probably never happen, but you can enjoy this show every week and pretend these guys are your best friends from high school if you graduated in the late 80s or early 90s. What more can you ask for? 5 stars. Thank you, Nathan Atlas. That is an excellent 5-star review. And yeah, unfortunately, Kenny's Key West is closed, so we can't go there. And if Luke Hawks would book it, I would have one final match. And trust me, if you went to Doc's house, it would end in him being drunk, sad, and listening to Soundgarden, because that's what he does. So
Harper, you still have that Road Warrior T-shirt?
No.
It was from the WWE. It was. Oh, is that one that's the box with these spikes around it?
No. It was when they came back, and I think it was when they had Sonny.
Oh, LOD 2000.
I think it was right before that. It was the black T-shirt, and on the front was a black and white picture of one of them. It was just their face, and they're like, and on the back was the other Road Warrior.
I don't remember seeing that.
It was from the mid to late 90s.
Well, it's definitely club wear, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, bro. Kenny's Key West, bro. From dusk till dawn, whatever turns you on, I'll make you famous.
Unfortunately, him and Randy can't find it since Hurricane Katrina, so we'll never see that picture of Harper with hair with a T-shirt at Kenny's Key West.
Yeah, and
it disappoints me.
We're all doing a Four Horsemen. We're all doing a Four Horsemen.
They were all shit-faced doing the Four Horsemen with the Road Warrior T-shirt on.
And we got these co-cores to do the Four Horsemen thing, too. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. I was like, put the 4 fingers up. Put the 4 fingers up.
As Doc said, another tragedy to come out of Katrina.
Yeah.
The fact we don't have that photo.
Oh, man. All right, Crockett, let's keep moving. You had something about WCW contracts once Bill Watts came in. Harper, you're going to love this because Crockett was doing some research, and you really need to hear what Crockett is about to present. So, Crockett, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so Bill Watts at this time, as you guys have talked about, he's been brought in basically to cut costs anywhere he can. I think you guys talked about the Brian Pillman situation. You got into that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a brief bit of Arn's take on it, yes.
Yeah, so he came in. He had just signed a contract when Bill Watts came in with K. Allen Fry, and Bill Watts did not like that contract and started to bury him and told Pillman that if he lost all the incentives that were in the contract, that he'd start to push him again, and apparently he did that. So that's why Pillman is coming back with a couple wins now, and we'll see one tonight on this show. But yeah, all the contracts. Once Bill Watts came in, he added these 5 stipulations to all the contracts. Number 1, upon signing, the company owns the rights to the wrestler's ring name and likeness in perpetuity. Number 2, the company can give the wrestler 30 days notice to relocate to Atlanta. 30 days.
So what, they got to move to Atlanta within 30 days?
Yeah, because they don't want to spend money to fly people in.
That's fucking bullshit.
God forbid you got a family and kids in school and stuff like that. That was my first thought, but yeah.
No, 30 days is nothing. Number 3, the company has the right to book the wrestler to a third party, so they could send you to New Japan just on a whim. Number 4, the top dollar figure as stipulated in the contract is $750 a night. Another $250 per night is listed as a performance incentive bonus, so only the $750 per night is guaranteed. And number 5, it is specifically spelled out in the case of injury, even life-threatening injury suffered on the job, that the wrestler is signing away legal recourse against the company in regard to lost wages or paying medical bills.
Oh, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, so they will not take care of you if you get injured on the job.
And you got $750 per night?
That's a top dollar figure. Yeah, that's what it says.
Is that the contract?
It was 1,000, but then they took out $250 and said that you only get that if you hit some bonus.
Oh boy,
performance bonus.
That sounds great, man.
Yeah, and apparently at this time, just morale backstage was absolutely terrible.
I mean, I know Arm said he had took away catering or something, didn't he?
Yeah, that was one of the claims Arn said. Or he
food?
changed it. He went cheaper, much cheaper with it. And Arn's whole take on it was, we're not like normal sized human beings, man. Like we have, we work out. We have much more stringent dietary needs. We have to feed ourselves in order to grow, muscles. You don't just grow from working out. You grow from proper nutrition, eating right and whatnot. And the thing is, you got to remember, once you get into 92, you're getting into an era of people are starting to realize you can't just smoke and drink nonstop. You got to kind of train and start to eat right. So that was one of Arn's pet peeves. Yeah, Arn hates him. I mean, as we've discussed on the show numerous times.
Yeah, he was not well liked.
Yeah, I'll send this to Crockett. What else did you have from that, Crockett? Harper sending me a picture, like the listeners can see this picture I'm about to send you of this Road Warriors t-shirt or animal Road Warrior animal t-shirt. But anything else, Crockett, before I get into the opening of the show?
No, that's about it, man. I think I got a couple more things, but they're in the context of what we're going to see. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to share my screen. Just let me know when y'all can see it.
Got it.
All right. So, once again, we're covering WCW Saturday Night on TBS from October the 3rd, 1992. So, we're getting closer and closer to Halloween Havoc 92, where you can listen to that review on Patreon at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Great way to support the show and get tons of extra content, including the video reviews that we do here as well, which Crockett and Harper are watching along with me right now. This week's episode was taped September 21st, 1992 at Center Stage. It is the second half of the taping from that day. Jim Ross welcomes us into the show. Arn Anderson is with him on commentary. And when I go to it, Harper, look how Arn Anderson is dressed. He looks like a high school math teacher, does he not? Harper, are you there? Or are you on mute? Did he go piss? Anyway, Arn looks like a high school math teacher. That's just the first thing that came to my mind. It looks like a kind of a yellowish t-shirt, but maybe it's the hue on the screen. I don't know. Thoughts on Arn Anderson's attire as he is doing commentary with JR right here?
No, he looks very dapper gentleman tonight. He's got the little tinted glasses. Yeah, it's funny with good promo guys. They're not always great on color. You think like Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect in the WWF. Neither of them were really great, but they're good promo guys. The jury for me is still out on Arn. He was all right, maybe a little low key, but he did all right on this show tonight.
I'll tell you who's good on commentary is Pillman. He's in the first match as we go to it. It is Brian Pillman versus Brad Armstrong. They do a nice opening spot that ends with Brad drop kicking Pillman, who flies through the ropes to the floor. Man, these guys got in here and just look at that. That was impressive. Man, Crockett, I've got a few timestamps, one at 10:45, one at 11:50. But I wanted to go to you because these guys kick things off and they're on fire.
Yeah, I got the 11:52. But yeah, I mean, Pillman's heel turn. I didn't see or hear the clash. I guess that's where it happened. It's just so sudden. All of a sudden he's pulling hair and John with the fans. It's kind of just out of nowhere, isn't it?
It kind of did, but when they did it, the way he did Brad, it was so just mean-spirited as Brad's on a crutch and he slaps the piss out of him. He did everything but call him a gimp is what I told the guys. Nice. And he really turns it on, man. It did come quick, but they did the thing with Pillman a while back too, where it seemed like they were about to turn him and they didn't. So, we had kind of seen the mean side of him before, but he took it to another level when he turns on Brad and smacked the piss out of him.
Yeah. He works the leg most of the match. It's decidedly really not a light heavyweight match. And besides talking about the tournament, which is going to happen, quote unquote, next year, they really are not referred to as light heavyweights. And when I was looking stuff up, it says that basically Watts didn't like the way that the light heavyweights were talked about as light heavyweights He's afraid in the fans' eyes that they'll be taken as not being able to compete with the heavyweights because of that classification. And yeah, it says here, if when the division returns, expected to be handled differently and probably have a different weight limit. But yeah, it never happens. So anyway, they're just trying to get away from light heavyweights and that terminology altogether.
So that goes along.
Now
236 or 234.
Well, fuck, that ain't a light heavyweight.
Why are you trying to make sense of anything related to weights in wrestling, Harper? It's all over.
Back in the 80s, early 90s, guys were a lot bigger.
Yeah, but I will say this, Crockett, you just basically confirmed what I was speculating about either last week or the week before. Watts' whole thing was he didn't like the division, and I'd never heard it confirmed, but I figured that's what it was. So that makes sense, and that's why it never happens, even though these guys don't go anywhere for now. Watts just didn't like the light heavyweight, so we got this nice belt. We've had some great light heavyweight matches, Pillman and Liger and whatnot, and well, screw it, we can't do that because Bill Watts is a tyrant.
Yeah, imagine if they went back to Liger and Pillman with Liger as a heel. It'd be a fun, different dynamic to the match. But no.
I agree. So here's a spot that I have coming up. There's a slam by Brad, but only gets a 2 count, followed by a right hand that Pillman sells the shit out of. I just thought it was just a good little spot right there. Really enjoyed it. So
this is rock bottom. He hit him with the rock bottom in 1992.
He sure did. Nobody makes moves up. Come on, man. Look at Pillman sell that right hand. Yeah, Harper, I was telling Crockett, I sent him the file to last week's show, the whole Bill Watts thing about the top rope. So Crockett is aware of that, and since it hadn't aired as of us recording this, but he is well aware of Bill Watts's, I don't know, what would you call that? Vomiting nonsense?
Yeah. Fucking, what do you call that? A word salad? The fuck?
Pretty much.
Harper got worked up last week.
We all did.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's
really
like
dumb.
2 weeks ago it was the light heavyweights. The light heavyweights will have the top rope rule waived, and then I guess they decide they're not going to do the tournament, so they're just like everyone.
Yeah.
Shit.
So the finish.
Mike.
I know the finish. Brad misses a crossbody off the top rope. Pillman boots Brad to the gut and then rolls Armstrong up for the pin. And Arn says, that's the smartest match I've ever seen Pillman wrestle, alluding to him maybe not following the rules is what I kind of gathered from that. Crockett, did you have any thoughts on anything else on the match?
No, I mean, right guy won, I guess. They're starting something new with Pillman.
Yeah, Brad just getting treated like crap, but, what can you do, right? We then go to an ad for Halloween Havoc, and then after the Halloween Havoc ad, we're going to talk about Bruno right here. And Bruno's a broken record. I'm going to play it. We'll talk about it on the other side. Here it is.
Why?
Welcome back, everyone, to WCW Saturday Night. Jim Ross back with Bruno Sammartino. Bruno will be one of our co-hosts for the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view spectacular on Sunday, October 25th in Philadelphia. Now, Bruno, obviously the fans can call the local cable company and watch this on pay-per-view, but there's nothing like being in the arena and seeing it live.
You're right, Jim. I can't tell you, first of all, how excited I am for myself to be there. But to all the fans, I would like to say this. If you are in the vicinity of Philadelphia, I think you're from Pittsburgh, New York, Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, make your way to Philadelphia because, like Jim says, is to see this in person is the best way. But for those of you who can't, naturally catch it on pay-per-view because this is a night that you will never forget. When you talk about the best of wrestling, and I'm not talking about the best in the United States, but the best in the world, you will see it that night. Jim, I'm so excited. I just can't wait.
Bruno, I know that in our conversations, you've always said that the fans in Philadelphia in that area, all throughout the East, have supported you all throughout the years. It's going to be great to see some of your old friends on October 25th.
The greatest fans. I wrestled there for almost 25 years, and they were always so supportive. I feel like a home, as far as myself. And I hope that they will all be there because it'll be great to see them again, but more importantly, because they will have the time of their lives because they will see the best of wrestling.
Bruno, thanks very much for being with us. It's always a pleasure to see you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back up to Rhubarb Jones.
Talk about Bruno, talk about JYD, Harper. What'd you think?
Very monotone, huh?
Yeah.
I can't tell if he's happy or sad.
Oh my God.
And just saying nothing while saying something.
I swear I've heard that same message from him a few times. Now, let's move along because the next match is DDP and Vinny Vegas versus Shane Douglas and Marcus Bagwell. Harper, can you describe the Vegas connection, DDP and Vinny Vegas right here, and your thoughts on what they maybe look like?
They look like they could probably sell you an 8-ball.
I was thinking DDP might look like some, idiot at Kenny's Key West who thinks he looks good.
Well, that's the same thing, yeah. He can buy you a fucking 8-ball at a fucking Kenny's Key West.
Look at DDP.
And he probably thinks he's a fucking pool shark.
Oh my God.
I miss the black and pink tux from Vinny Vegas.
Yeah.
Right, sitting there fucking drinking a fucking Miller Genuine Draft.
In his F-150.
Yeah, in his fucking F-150.
And Shane got his coat from the same place as DDP.
That's nice.
Oh my God. Well, this match is going to put asses in the seats. It's a sellout in any building in the world right here. Let me go to you, Crockett. What do you think of this matchup that we have between these four over guys?
Well, let me put it this way. DDP applied a bear hug more than once. Do with that what you will. No, I mean, the Vegas connection did a couple of good blind tags.
Yeah.
Nash, I don't know what it is. Nash doesn't look as big as he is. Like, he doesn't look super tall to me. I don't know if it's his gear or DDP being of a similar size. His upper body's smaller. That could be it too, but he just doesn't look that impressive at this point right
Nash?
here.
Go to high school with him?
Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I'm messing with
man.
you.
No, but yeah, I mean, there is some good tag work from the heels, but not a whole lot to this one.
This like sidewalk slam of sorts from Vinny Vegas right here. Watch the way he just tosses Bagwell. I was impressed. Look at this. It's like
yeah, for real.
It's like a sack of crap, man. He's like he threw down a sack of oysters, Harper. I was like, what the hell? Got some height on it, man. And then he hits him right there with the sidewalk slam. I don't know. It was I agree with you. This wasn't actually bad. I've got more on Douglas later in this show.
Yeah.
There is something that Douglas says that we're going to be going, would you go to high school with him? So wait till we get there. But for now, any other thoughts before I go to the finish of this one?
No, man.
So we get a hot tag to Douglas. Douglas is wheeling and dealing. He hits Vegas with a big suplex, but Vegas breaks the pin. Then all four guys start brawling. Meanwhile, in the ring, Shane Douglas is going to hit a belly-to-belly on DDP, and Douglas and Bagwell are going to win by pin. I joked a little while ago saying this is a sellout in any building, but it actually wasn't a bad match. It wasn't very long, but it wasn't bad at all. I just giving these guys a hard time, but it was pretty good. I mean, I didn't. There was nothing like glaringly wrong at all. Nobody botched anything or messed anything up. DDP still looks funny during this era, but I give him some grace. It's not that bad. Give him his flowers. He's fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think I was the first one to use the term, by the way, on this show. I asked you to give Tom Zank his flowers.
You should.
God.
Back in the day.
I will not be giving Z-Man flowers.
You should give him his flowers.
I mean, he's deceased now. I'll give him flowers gladly. But if we were reviewing this real time, no, he did not get flowers back then.
That was a good duck for the clothesline.
I'm telling you, it was a good match.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Like, and they're trying to get Shane over, and it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, we're not going to poo-poo it at all. But one thing I am going to poo-poo is whatever that was that comes up next. It's Van Hammer versus Mike Freeman. And Crockett, they replayed the world premiere video for Hammer again last week. Bobby Blaze tells me this guy's a good dude, so I don't like poo-pooing on him, but the gimmick is dumb, and I'm just really tired of it. But anyway, he's taking on Mike Freeman, who has a ridiculously stupid haircut. Harper, any thoughts on what they used to call this back in the day? When you got the sides like edged up or razored like real high. What did they call that back in the day?
That's just a mullet, right?
No, I mean like you see by his ears, why he's got no hair.
Right. He's got it shaved up there like an asshole. But yeah, I think it's just a mullet, right?
Yeah, it's like an inch and a half or 2 inches above his ear.
Right.
He's got a special mullet.
I think Deep State Harper just entered the chat.
Yes, yes.
That's great. Yeah, anything from this match, though, Crockett?
No, just he does his awful slingshot suplex, and that's it.
Yeah. Yep. He's wearing the same gear he was the last one, Mike.
It's because it's the same taping.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the second half of the taping from that day, from the 21st of September.
Oh, by the way, Mike, before they went to this match, they did like a plug for the hotline, and the Ross report. They talked about Paulie's whereabouts, and I guess at this time, Steve Austin is no longer. They took Paulie away from Steve Austin, so I think that's what's going on there, and they're gonna do something else with Paulie. So. I think that we've seen the last of Paulie as Steve Austin's manager.
So I didn't remember it happened this quick, but there's also some stuff coming up with Paulie and Medusa.
Yeah, and Rude. Yeah,
that is. I'm gonna have to go grab the clip of what Medusa said about that, of what Watts called her and Paulie after they shot a money angle. And I'll leave it at that. It's coming up. It won't be till, I think it's at Halloween Havoc, actually. Van Hammer wins. No surprise there. From there, we go to the Halloween Havoc Control Center with Jim Ross. There are a bunch of real quick promos from Cactus talking about Barbarian versus Simmons at Havoc. And then another replay of Rude losing the NWA title tournament in Japan and building up Chono versus Rude at Havoc. There's more on Sting versus Jake at Halloween Havoc. I'm going to get to that promo in a second. Crockett, before I get to the Jake promo, any thoughts on what I mentioned so far about the replays or anything?
No, I mean, they showed the Cactus and Barbarian thing. I think they're doing a good job getting Barbarian, elevating him to getting a title match. Cactus, I think, is injured at this time. I think he's supposed to. I read he was supposed to be out of the ring till mid-October, but he comes back before that. Cactus being Cactus. Butch Reed was fired for missing a shot. That's why he's no longer around. Last week, Jake Roberts replaced him.
Yep.
But there's one more thing at the end of this, but it's after the Jake promo, so we'll get to that.
We're going to talk about that because we're going to trigger Harper with that one. Harper will be triggered with what's coming. He's going to be triggered bad. Just hold on. The Jake promo's good, but then we'll get into what's going to trigger you because I was like, are you freaking serious? Yeah. But let's go to Jake now, talking about Halloween Havoc.
Roberts has joined us. And Jake, what is your opinion of this situation from WCW?
Jim, it really breaks my heart that the WCW doesn't want to be responsible for this type of match. I mean, just because there's 12 things on the wheel that could and probably will, oh yeah, definitely will, end Sting's career, or possibly my own if it's the luckiest day of your life, and it won't be. They don't want to be responsible. They don't want to be liable. Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Next week, Sting and I, we will sign some documents that releases WCW. That way they don't have to feel like they owe anybody anything, and they don't have to say they're sorry. So we can have this match. So it will be non-sanctioned. It will be lights out. But it will not be lights out for me. For you, Sting. Trust me. Trust me, Sting.
All right, thanks.
It's funny because he's talking about WCW is going to make them sign a waiver when they've all signed waivers, basically, because Watts won't take care of their medical bills if they get hurt. Not Watts, but the promotion. It's just kind of funny when you listen to Jake's promo and now what we know today. Any thoughts, though, about Jake's promo there from either of you?
No, it's fine. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's been better. There's been worse.
So this is what's going to trigger you, Harper.
Yep.
So it was announced first that WCW TV champion Ricky Steamboat would face an opponent to be named the following week, next week. And then it was announced that the new WCW and NWA World Tag Team Champions, Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham, would defend their belts against Rick and Scott Steiner. The problem is, this segment that we're watching right now aired before Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham won the titles later in this same week from Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Gordy.
Wait, what?
The main event of this show tonight is Dustin Barry versus Doc and Gordy.
The current tag team
here where it's his tag team championship match.
Right.
But as far as we know, neither of these teams are the tag team champions.
Well, they go. Jim Ross goes as far to say the new tag team champions, Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes, defend.
Oh.
Yeah. So Jim Ross announces Barry and Dustin are the world tag team champions. They hold the WCW and NWA tag titles because they defeated Gordy and Williams. But we haven't seen Gordy and Williams. We will see it at the end of this show that we're covering this week. So they broke the news that this would be the world tag title. The Steiners and them would be the world tag titles match at Halloween Havoc 92. But we haven't seen Barry and Dustin beat the current champs for the belts yet.
Okay.
Yeah, like an hour and 15 minutes before they actually do it, they're announcing that they won.
Okay.
So maybe Bill Watts should worry more about his post-production team than finding his fucking wrestlers and treating his wrestlers like children.
Yeah, that was horrible.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid, man.
Right, because it's your main event of this week's show. So if you're watching this when it aired, you're like, wait, what? Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham are the champs? What happened to Dr. Death and Gordy?
God,
well, you know, this is how we do
Quality
it.
control.
Harper,
we keep it airtight, brother.
It's always airtight, brother. Harper, you had stepped away for a second. I said Arn Anderson was dressed. He's on commentary this week. He's dressed like a high school math teacher or maybe something else. What do you think?
Yes. Or he's got jury duty.
I take it back. He looks like my high school biology teacher right there.
You see? He went to Brother Martin.
Don't remind me. Worst 4 years of my life. Anyway,
yeah, right.
Replay of it. Hated it.
Right.
Anyway.
Either that or fucking O. Perry Walker.
No, I was in Kennedy's district.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, right there by the city park.
Yeah, I would have been Kennedy. But I actually almost went to 35.
Did you say district?
Yeah. Like that was my, that was the, yeah. I said district. No, yes, I said district.
District, baby.
All right. Well, let's continue. We do see a replay of last week when Simmons and Windham wrestled Barbarian and Jake, which ended in a DQ with Simmons and Windham winning that match. And then after the replay, we do go to Ron Simmons versus a gentleman by the name of Kenny Kendall. And I need to get fast forwarded because I think I had a note from that. I wanted Harper's take on this Kenny Kendall fella. Boy,
it's not a quick replay either. It's literally like 10 minutes of the match.
Yeah, it was a large clip. They were trying to fill some time, obviously. Kenny Kendall, he is a, we make fun of these enhancement talents, Harper, right?
Right.
But I want you to see this guy because he's a big bastard. Like, watch when they go to him, which I guess is kind of cool because you put Ron in there versus another big dude. I mean, he's not huge, but he ain't little either. You see him right there?
Yeah.
He's got a little size on him. I mean, I'm probably overselling him, but you put Ron Simmons in there against him and you let him dominate. But Crockett, your thoughts on this match, Ron Simmons versus Kenny Kendall?
Yeah, Kenny Kendall might be a little taller than him even. Yeah, I mean, this is just a quick squash. You got your world champion there. You want to keep him strong. There's he just like manhandles him. Like the body slams, is just like driving him into the mat. There's a hard buckle there that's absolutely devastating. Kenny Kendall took it very well, and it ends pretty quick.
He's got. I guess he's almost like a Barry body, Barry Windham.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit more muscular, like a tad bit more.
I agree. He's Kenny Kendall from Kenny's Key West, for everybody asking.
That's right, baby.
From dusk till dawn.
Whatever turns you on, I'll make you famous.
What was the whole "I'll make you famous" tagline? I don't get that. Why? Was it because B97 would broadcast from there?
I know the guy that did those commercials. And every time I see him, I say, from dusk till dawn, he goes, whatever turns you on, I'll make you famous. Labels provided by A Confidential.
Have you seen that YouTube clip that I've sent you that numerous listeners sent to me of inside of Kenny's Key West? And it was when they were doing the wet t-shirt contest, B97 night or something.
Oh, no.
It's long. I sent it to you a month or two ago, whenever we first had the Kenny's conversation.
It's a wet t-shirt contest.
The footage
Sponsored
is beyond.
By B97?
I think so. The footage is beyond terrible because it's shot with a freaking, VHS camcorder.
Yeah.
It's like the footage is just terrible.
Yeah.
I sent it to you. I'll find it again because I had so many people send me this YouTube video. So the night that we talked about it, everybody must have went and Googled it on YouTube. And then they start sending it to me. I'm like, holy shit. This is really the inside of Kenny's Key West. Because I've been there. You've been there, right? I'm like, that's really Kenny's. And
I want to hear some of the old commercials from the radio.
Oh, man. Good times. But I'll resend it to you tonight when we're done. It's amazing. It's long, like it's over an hour, but when you can fast forward and see certain clips of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was like, oh my God, that is quintessential Metairie in the freaking 90s. It's like if you're from there, you're like, ugh, Jesus. That's it. But let me go to Ron Simmons. He defeated Kenny Kendall, and let's see what he's got to say. He's with Jim Ross.
Just a few moments ago, what happened here last week, I think it was obvious that the Barbarian and Cactus Jack wanted to make a very physical statement. I know that Florida State always played Florida in the 11th game, but there are games between now and October 25th. You're really a marked man. You said it yourself. You are the hunted.
You know something, Jim Ross? This, what I'm holding in my hand, is what every man in this sports wants, to be the world's heavyweight champion. I am at the top of the mountain where everyone wants to be. And between now and Halloween Havoc, where the Barbarian wants to fight Ron Simmons, I've got to concentrate on the Rick Rude, the Van Vaders, whoever it might be. That's the role of a world champion. I don't care who it is. But listen to this, Barbarian. There won't be Cactus Jack. There will not be Jake the Snake at the ring. Where I'm from, and most of these people can tell you, I was raised where fighting is a way of life for me. I've literally done it to eat. And if it's the fight you want, Ron Simmons guarantees this. It's the fight at Halloween Havoc you're going to get.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the champion.
I thought that was perfect. I love Ron Simmons. Crockett, your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, got the point across very well.
It's quick, concise. Harper, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he's the best thing here, huh? He's gotta be.
He's right up there with Steamboat and Austin and Rude and. Oh, if you talking about baby faces or just in general?
I mean, just in general.
Gotcha.
He's got to be their biggest draw. You would think, huh? Or am I just
listen
looking too much into it through like today's eyes?
You listen to Bill Watts, he was timid and wasn't everything he needed to be. And when he got the belt on him, he just wasn't as good as before. If you listen to Bill Watts' take on it. I'm just telling you what Watts said. But as I say that, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know, Harper. Rude at this time, especially with, Ric Flair's gone. Rude at this time is just completely he's never in the conversation for being like a top promo guy, but here he is in terms of promos, he is carrying this. I messaged you this privately, I think, Mike, like a couple months ago. Rude is never talked about as a big promo guy, but he is like just on point in this period in WCW.
He's phenomenal. Like his promo, we've given him the Rolex and the Toot Toot Award numerous times. Rick Rude is ridiculously good during this era. I mean, he's phenomenal, and he does.
I think this is his best time. It's just
Rude.
It's just that not as many people have seen it, because I'd rather watch this than him feuding with the fucking Ultimate Warrior.
No, yeah. I think this is his best. Yeah, this is his best stuff here in WCW.
I agree, Harper. I think
it's like the whole Kurt Angle thing, where everyone says, Kurt Angle was in TNA longer than he was in the WWF, and he had his best stuff in TNA, the stuff that a fifth of the audience saw.
Right.
Yeah, I think Rude had a bigger audience with his stuff in WWF, but I think during this era, if you really stacked it up against it, he was better here. The problem is not as many people saw it, so you won't get as many people to agree with it. But if you know and you watched it and you've seen both and you can be fair and objective with it, I think he was better here. I just do.
Yeah.
Like his promos, he's such a prick. He's so condescending in the things he says and talking about Steamboat's wife and kid. It's like, and that's just part of it. He is so damn good. I mean, he's such a great heel. And he gets the credit he deserves, but this is his best work. Like, it's flat out. This is where he's great. But, Harper, I need you to really listen to this next promo we're going to play. Tony Schiavone is sitting down with Shane Douglas. And, boy, this is something. Here it is.
Okay, World Championship Wrestling, very excited about the young top superstars we have in our sport right now. One of them certainly is Shane Douglas. Thanks for spending some time with me. As announcers, we talk about your association with Magnum TA. Shane, tell us more about that.
I think once in everybody's lifetime they should have an opportunity to meet somebody like Terry Magnum, because he's been a real influence on my life. He's been like a second father to me. And, when I was fortunate enough to watch...
Hold on, I got to stop. Terry? Whoa. Did you go to high school with him franchise? I mean, I just had to ask that question. It's a good babyface promo. I'm gonna not really play the rest because I don't know. Crockett, do you think there's more to it after this? I mean, he's good. It's okay.
No, yeah, it's pretty much by the book. He just speaks so fast. It's like he's on 2x speed this entire promo. He doesn't take a breath.
I tell you, he fucking looks like a country music star. Like nothing about him says Pennsylvania.
Right.
The mullet and that shirt or whatever he's wearing.
Yeah, the jacket with the fringe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. He does look like a country music star, especially a 1992 country music star. Is what you mean?
Yes, dude, for real, bro. I was like, well, yeah, I can't wait because I'm going to be on the road with Garth Brooks. It's a big opportunity for me. And, it's just...
He does. He really does. He does. But I died when he was like, Terry, like, what? You went to high school with him franchise? What's going on here? But then he does say Magnum. I mean, so he did kind of correct himself, but it was fine. I just had to point that out. It's a good meat and potatoes babyface look at Douglas. He talks about his recent wins against Greg Valentine and the Super Invader. And again, I'm making fun of it, but he really was good here. It wasn't bad at all. Like it's not anything to really laugh about. So there was that. Any other thoughts, Crockett, before we keep going?
It's just so funny that it's just so blatantly Bill Watts, given the black guy the world championship, and then where are the blowjobs? There's the blowjob right there, Shane Douglas. They're just like, it's just paint by numbers.
It really is. Like the way he went and got. I don't want to compare Douglas to like Rock and Roll Express and like when Watts had them in Mid-South, but let me promote, let me make Ron my champion, and I got to remember what Jerry Jarrett told me when he said, "Where's the blowjobs, Bill?" And I got to make sure I get a Shane Douglas, a pretty boy, so that the women will come. I mean, it's just, it's Bill Watts. Like, I'm not saying he was wrong to push Douglas here. It's just, but it is paint by numbers for him. All right. On that note, we then saw another Halloween Havoc ad, and then we go to Jake Roberts. Now, this promo from Jake, it's better than the first one. So here it is.
Most eagerly anticipated pay-per-view spectacular ever at Halloween Havoc. Spin the wheel, make the deal. 3 weeks away, you and Sting in Philadelphia.
Listen to them. They sound like a bunch of seals out there doing what anybody wants. You see, I march to the beat of my own drummer. I do exactly as I want to do. Don't you wish you could, Sting? Let's be honest, Sting. Where are you at right now? Are you at home? Are you thinking about what you've really done? Do you really want to spin that wheel? Do you really want to make that deal? I don't think you do. I think you're a gutless wonder. I think you've been an idol too long. You're making a lot of promises, Sting. You tell the little stingers to believe in you. They shouldn't, unless they want to believe in a loser. Because come Halloween Havoc, as I said before, and I'll say it again, Jim Ross, when you start playing with a snake, you're going to be bitten. So don't turn your back on me, Sting. Be careful in the dark, that thing that you hear. Look underneath the bed, check the closet, because I'll be there. Come Halloween Havoc, there are 12 matches. Which one will it be? Huh? Which one will it be? It'll be your last.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back up to Rhubarb. Jake will be with us on this contest, but now back up to Rhubarb Joe.
I don't remember which promo it was that Jake cut, but Ian Riccaboni posted it in the Facebook group. He's like, man, Jake terrified me as a kid, and he's much younger than us. But so he was young when Jake was cutting these promos. And if you're a kid, I think you would be terrified by Jake. As bad as he is as being a human being, you can understand why people kept giving him chances, because he talks people into the building. That was another solid Jake promo. Crockett, what did you think?
Yeah, it definitely was. And I was just thinking here as I was watching, like, this is the second Jake promo. There was one during the Control Center, and the fact that they spoiled the tag team. I'm guessing that that Control Center was meant for Sunday, and maybe the one that airs on Sunday was meant for Saturday. So you can get the kind of almost back-to-back Jake promos. That's probably what happened, is that they just transposed the Control Centers, and like that's what I figure happened there.
Or the Control Center that aired this week, they originally intended to air next week.
Yeah,
right.
But I can see what you're saying on the Sunday show too. It's a mistake they shouldn't have made. So, but I'm with you. That would make sense.
For real, dude. How you fuck up shit like that?
Because Bill Watts was worried about top rope rules and so much other stuff.
But they've always made fucking mistakes like that.
I know. Yeah, you can't pin that on Watts. I'm poking fun because it's Watts, right? But he's made errors in that way, shape, or
form. I mean, spelling names and locations wrong is one thing, but spoiling the main event of your own show, the same show, that's a whole new level.
Oh man. All right, well, we got the Barbarian versus Rick Bravo here in this next match. Jake is on commentary for this one. He's talking about the Barbarian. He says where he heard Ron Simmons earlier say that where he is from, he had to fight to eat. Well, where Barbarian is from, he fights and then he eats what he fought, which I thought was great. It's just a way of life for him. And then Jake talks about the release he will sign next week for the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal match. And WCW doesn't want to be held responsible for what happens to Jake and Sting, and that's why they will sign those releases. Let me go to you, Crockett. Anything from the commentary or the big boot from Barbarian?
No, yeah, it was another quick one. Big boot. I like this line from Jake. He says, "If he hit Simmons with that big boot, his whole family will fall down."
Yeah, Jake wasn't bad on commentary. It was short though. It was only like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a shame he didn't really get a chance to manage in fucking AEW and just really flex his, his muscle doing promos.
Didn't he?
I mean, he never really did anything, though, did he?
I know he was managing Lance Archer for a while.
Yeah, there was that time period where they just brought in all these legends to manage people. You had Jake, you had Tully Blanchard, Arn, yeah.
Jack Victory.
No.
Wait, he was there?
Yeah,
No.
Remember?
No, he wasn't. Not in AEW.
Was. Yeah, he was.
Jack Victory was not in AEW. You know what? I don't watch it. Google what? I feel confident that he was not there.
He was there.
Okay.
He was Asian.
He's Harper's trying to be funny. No, I just don't. I don't remember how good his run was. I know Jake managed Lance Archer, and I saw him cut a couple of promos, but yeah, that was it. I don't know what they did with. I feel like they kind of wasted Tully and Arn.
Oh, yeah, I think they wasted more than that, man.
Of course. We're going to be known as the AEW haters pod, even though we don't cover AEW. We just tell people to watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, this next clip, I'm not going to play the audio, but I'm going to hit play where we can watch it. Jim Ross throws to Cactus Jack and Barbarian having a training segment. And Barbarian is pulling a pickup truck. And Cactus says something about, "I'm not a manager, I'm a motivator." I don't know. I guess it's kind of cool to see things like this. It didn't seem too impactful. What did you think about this, Crockett?
Yeah, I think Cactus with Barbarian's a fun pairing. It definitely adds new layers to Barbarian, who's, doesn't promo. So I think anything that Cactus can do to help the Barbarian, because he's go for the world title, I think that's a good thing. And it was an interesting segment to kind of put a little more heat on the match coming up at Halloween Havoc.
Harper, I thought they showed the full pickup truck, but I guess we're not going to see it.
Let's see.
They do very briefly.
Let's see. Okay. Did we pass it up?
I think it's a Chevrolet.
Is this the one you were going to buy in high school?
Yeah.
No.
Here it is, Harper. It's a Chevrolet.
Yeah, that's
Silverado.
Or
we
Sierra.
kind of saw it like right there. All we see is the front of it, though.
It's funny how he was running so fast, and when they finally do the wide shot, he's pulling very slowly.
It fucking looks like that old fucking commercial, like a rock. Remember that commercial?
Yes.
The old Chevy commercial.
Strong as I can be, like a rock.
He didn't even charge them for that commercial. What's his name? Bob Seger.
What kind of capitalist is he?
Well, because he's from that area, so he figured if you're helping my people, it just helps my people who work in the auto industry. Then y'all can have it for free. I support y'all.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
That you just know that might never happen nowadays.
No.
You're not.
You know how much money they probably made off that goddamn commercial? I haven't seen that commercial in 35 years, and I still fucking know it.
It's one of those things that's just ingrained in you.
Yeah. Like,
see, my dad was a Chevy guy. Like
my dad too.
If it wasn't a Silverado GM Sierra, like he drove so many of those. He was a service manager for many years. So it was to the point where he worked at these dealerships so long, they would give him one to take home. And, I mean, that's what he drove. Like, I remember going over there on weekends, and it was always in one of those. He used to always – and he swore by it. He's like, never buy an F-150. You always get a Silverado if you're going to get a truck. Like
those old trucks fucking hold up, man.
I know, man. I know. What were you saying, Crockett? Your dad was too? So
yeah, my dad actually has a 1955 Chevy Bel Air.
Oh, no shit. That's fucking cool.
It's rotting in the garage right now. But yeah.
Okay.
That's nice.
Harper wants it. He's going to restore it.
Yeah.
With the $500,000, $50,000 a month he makes off this podcast.
Yeah.
What's my cut?
Oh man. But yeah, Harper would love to restore that thing.
My dad had a 67 Thunderbird, and it was the same way. It just rotted away in the backyard. I used to sit it and pull all the little switches and turn all the knobs.
Yeah.
And as soon as he died, my mom was like, "Tow this shit away."
Yeah.
Dude, the most amazing thing when you get one of those trucks from the 80s or even early 90s, mid 90s, is the amount, like, you get in a car nowadays, it's like being in a cockpit of a plane.
Yeah.
Back then, it was so simple.
I miss those bench seats, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking
Do you?
bench seats were
Big
fucking
bucket
beautiful. Yeah. Cause you just fucking sitting there and just chill, bro.
I don't know, man. Like,
Fuck that fucking dude. I would take a car with fucking bench seats 7 days a week, bro.
Okay, I thought you meant, like, so if it was a truck, because I mean, like, I think the trucks now, the front seat, I mean, some of them still have a bench seat. You can get them sometimes with a bench seat, but most of them are, bucket.
Right.
But they're pretty damn comfortable, as I say that. It's a nice seat that you're sitting in. Like,
yeah, but I mean, you could just sit there and spread out and just get all the room in the world.
What you doing in the front seat of that Silverado, Harper?
I don't know, whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, you're taking the broad with the fake memory glands out of Kenny's Key West, and you're...
No, Jabberjaws. Jabberjaws.
Jabberjaws. Old Jabberjaws. I should look at that place. That's still there. It's changed names about 50 million times.
Crockett did tell me he was going to get the Jabberjaws tonight. I didn't think that would be the moment. Jesus Lord.
Jabberjaws. Remember that cartoon?
Oh, yeah, with the guy. It's just a blatant ripoff of Curly from the Three Stooges.
Yeah. It's, man. But yeah, I man, if I could find, I honestly would buy, if it was a truck from like the early 90s, mid 90s Harper, and it was in good shape, I think I'd buy one just to have it.
Oh, yeah, dude, for real, bro. I remember I had an 88, and it looked just like the Fall Guys truck. It was the same color pattern. And the thing is, with those trucks, the inside of it was just so huge that you were so far away from the dashboard to where the radio, like the tape deck or whatever the fuck would be like in the middle, and the radio would be kind of by the steering wheel because it's so far away. You couldn't just reach and just fucking keep hitting the buttons.
'Cause I'm the unknown stunt man. Fall guy.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm the unknown stunt man that made Eastwood such a star. Remember that?
Well, speaking of,
I didn't
I don't
learn
remember
much
that.
in school, but I taught ladies plenty.
all right. Speaking of guys who look like they might drive trucks, we got Barry Windham, Dustin Rhodes versus Terry Gordy and Steve Dr. Death Williams for the WCW and NWA World Tag Team titles here. Now,
who's going to win this one?
We were spoiled earlier in giving the results, but if we're going to be real here, this is four big bastards going at it, and they ain't pulling punches. I saw several live. Rounds fly. They started this with over 30 minutes of TV time minus commercials left, and they gave them all the time in the world to tell a story. In the early part of the match, the faces are in control, and Gordy is bumping all over the place. This was excellent. Got a few timestamps. The first one I have comes at 102.55, but Crockett, I guess I want to throw to you, see what you might have first.
Yeah, the baby faces are on top. They're shine for like a good 10, 15 minutes before a cutoff comes, just working that arm all over the place. But yeah, it's like you said, 30 minutes. I'm looking like 30 minutes. That's without commercials, 30 minutes left. So this is like 45, 50 minutes of showtime for this match. And yeah, I mean, it's a little slow in the beginning, but it definitely picks up. There's like 2 heats, and I like the cutoff finally when it kind of teases the finish where Barry goes for the superplex, but Gordy pushes him off the ropes onto the floor. So that's how they get into that.
Yeah, the two heats were good. There was the gut wrench by Barry onto Gordy, Gordy's a big bastard, but I had the same thing you did. The heels, it took a while, but eventually they finally get on top of the baby faces. It didn't happen overnight. It was a little slow at times, but they got after it so much that it was like, all right, well, no, we're good. There's a power slam coming up right here. Dr. Death first, just big old shoulder attack on Barry, and then he's going to power slam Windham after he charges Dustin, who's on the apron.
I had something on that spot right there. A pet peeve of mine, if you want to just reverse back to 109.58, where you whip a guy into the side of the ring where his partner is, and Dustin was like almost right there and could have tagged, but walked back over to the corner. It's like, just don't whip him to the side where the guy is standing, because it makes kind of like babyface look stupid just to not tag him there. But yeah, that was just a little pet peeve of mine.
Why are you talking about it like it's real? No.
Yeah, shut up, Crockett.
But it's
watch
true.
The Celtics fucking beat the fucking Charlotte Hornets or something.
Okay.
Or do you still follow them because you moved?
Oh, come on, Harper. We had this discussion. We had this discussion last time. Why? I will say this. I liked how Gordy and cut the ring off. They went real old school. Like and those WCW rings are small, so it's not easy to cut the ring off like you could in a WWF ring. So I thought that was cool. To your point, we did have the hot tag where Barry is taking the heat, and he eventually makes a hot tag to Dustin. Dustin comes in, and he's going at it. And then eventually they get back on top of Dustin. So now we're going to have two spots like that. There is a pile driver coming up right around here. I think it's Dr. Death gives it to Dustin. And I was like, oh, my God. There's a hot shot, and then he's going to hit him with a pile driver.
I thought it was Gordy that gives the pile driver.
That's right. It's Gordy who gives a pile driver. But it's followed by a lariat after Dustin kicked out. Here it comes, I believe. It's just, I want to emphasize it because, like, God, that looked like it hurt, man.
Yeah. And by the way, just he doesn't kick out of the pile driver. He gets his foot on the rope,
leg
which
up.
is a good touch.
Right.
Yep. Good point. All right, Crockett, before I go to the finish, any other thoughts?
No, let's get to the finish.
All right, so when we go to the finish, Dustin is going to catch Dr. Death in a suplex, and then he's going to make the hot tag to Windham. Barry comes in with a hell of a lariat to Gordy, but eventually they double team Barry Windham. Gordy goes to the top rope, but Windham recovers and superplexes Gordy off the top. Dr. Death breaks up the pin. Before we know it, all 4 guys are in the ring, and they are going at it. Dustin's going to hit Gordy with a bulldog while the ref's back is turned. Windham then is going to pin Gordy, and just as we knew it was coming because it was spoiled earlier, we have new WCW and NWA World Tag Team Champions that we were told about earlier in the show. But I guess it's cool because we did see the full match and got all of it, not just some highlights of it. So I'm not going to complain too much. Crockett, your thoughts on the finish, and then I got some stuff about what's going on here and why they lost this match.
Yeah, it's a good finish. I mean, like I mentioned with the cutoff, Barry Windham goes to the floor, and then Doc, while the ref's back is turned, Doc hits him with the lariat on the floor. So it's kind of a tit for tat thing where Barry goes and finally hits a superplex here, and then while the ref is getting Williams out of the ring, that's when Dustin comes behind the ref's back and hits the bulldog. So it was kind of like a tit for tat kind of thing, and
there you go.
They end up winning the match.
Harper, any thoughts on the finish as you're watching it here? Too much going on?
I mean, they fucking ruined it. I mean, what do you? Because it's like, hey, in Empire Strikes Back, you find out that Darth Vader is his dad. Thanks for fucking ruining it, asshole.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. That's how it goes down, right? That they
fucking
say that.
Dumbasses. Who's booking this shit?
Well, it wasn't the booking as much as it's the production.
Yeah. I hope Bill Watts handed out some hefty fines to the.
For himself.
That was my point. Like when I was saying he's all worried about the wrestlers and what they're doing and all this stuff, and I hope you keeping that same energy with whoever messed up the production of this. And to your point, they've done this before the Watts era. It's not like it happened because it was his leadership, but yeah, why don't you jump on somebody's back and leave your wrestlers alone is I guess what I'm looking to say here. So this is Gordy's last Saturday night match. Williams will have a couple more before he's done. Now, I went ahead and I was looking up the timeline of this because I just didn't remember off the top of my head. Obviously, I'm getting old. As we know, they come in to the promotion in '92. I think, Crockett, were you doing the shows with me, or was Doc out at the time when they first came in?
Yeah, I did the NWA tournament with you, and they just kind of come in where Williams says that unfortunate word during his promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was trying to remember exactly. So they come in, they win the WCW World Tag Titles, then they win the NWA World Tag Titles when they have the tournament. I think the final was at the Bash or something like that, or the finals of the NWA tournament was at the Bash, and then the next week they won the WCW titles. I can't remember. Maybe I'll get the order confused. So they feuded with the Steiner brothers, which in Japan was them feuding with the Steiners was hyped as a feud between the best foreign teams of the two top Japanese promotions. So the Steiners were with New Japan and at that time, and then Gordy and Williams, I think, were with All Japan. And then despite advances by New Japan, Gordy and Williams had loyalty to All Japan Pro Wrestling founder Giant Baba. They refused to compete for New Japan, which New Japan had business ties with WCW at the time. So that's what actually leads to Gordy leaving, and why you see this title change at this point, before Halloween Havoc, and eventually Dr. Death is gone shortly after Starrcade. So that's the mess that happened here. It would be easy to blame someone in WCW, but I don't think you really can, while at the same time, maybe you would say, well, why did you bring him in if you didn't have that squared away from the get-go? But it is pro wrestling, so that's kind of how it works. But that's the mess that occurred and why we end up in this situation where, not that Dustin and Barry aren't worthy, but they never got anything out of Gordy and Williams. Would you agree, Harper?
No. Well, they don't get too much out of fucking anyone.
Yeah.
This is unfortunate to hear that you're paused here. It's on the Eric Watts and Dustin Rhodes. It looks like something more is happening here than.
Okay, let me advance it a little. I was gonna play the promo. Yeah, what do you? Come on, a mouth is a mouth, bro. In the words of Hardbody Harper from several years ago. But let me go to your thoughts, Crockett. Do you have any thoughts about them losing the belts, the whole All Japan, New Japan thing? And I think I got it right. If I didn't, send that email to Chris Harper16 at wildcat@gmail.com. I think it is. Any thoughts, Crockett?
No, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that deal anyway with All Japan and New Japan, but we're about to lose a couple of top tag teams here in WCW. I think Rick Steiner is going to be injured very soon, and their contract's about to come up, and I think they're gone. I think we might have seen the last Steiner's tag team match.
Oh shit! It happens right now.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. Yeah, they go to WWE.
And yeah, and just like they start doing like a Scott Steiner singles thing. Yeah, it doesn't last very long, and then they're gone because I think they at this point they only have like a couple months left in their contracts, and I don't think Rick gets back in time.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we lose in one fell swoop. We lose Doc and Gordy and the Steiners.
That's great.
I mean, 4 heavy hitters just poof. But it really, look, it's October. They came in the summer with Watts. It's kind of really messed up because they put them over so strong, like right away, and we knew who they were. So it's not that it's their fault. Like, we didn't doubt that they shouldn't have won. It's just, damn, you got nothing out of them in terms of like money making feuds or pay-per-views. Like you just didn't, there was no payoff. They come in, they dominate, and then they lose and they're done. And by the way, that spoiler alert, fast forward about 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. The team that they just lost to ain't even going to have the belts that long. Like, they're just transition champions essentially in a way. It's just it's unfortunate because Gordy and Williams are so good, but you got nothing out of them. You got a few months out of them, and then they weren't even here for a lot of the time. So it's whatever. What can you do?
That's bullshit.
I can't even think of who are the other heel tag teams. Is this when the Hollywood Blondes come in?
Well, yeah, you're gonna have. We're still months away from Austin and Pillman. I mean, we're not far away, but we still got some time before Austin and Pillman.
Yeah.
Who are the heel tag teams at this point if those guys are gone?
State Patrol.
I don't even think that's true.
Oh, God.
It's just Buddy Lee around now.
You could tell they don't have much of a plan because of what's going to happen with like Dustin and Barry, and then you can tell it's in disarray, like in terms of tags. And you say, well, who's the heel tag teams? It's funny because you got Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton, and they're just treating them like piss.
Right.
So we got people we could do something with. It's just Bill Watts.
Yeah.
Wrestling Jesus. Anyway. All right. So let's go. We're going to play a promo. This is how the show will go off air. This is after Dustin and Barry win the titles. Here it is.
Stage, we've got new world tag team champions. This crowd took the rip off of it. Barry Windham holding all the gold, but it was Dustin Rhodes and that Bulldog. Dustin, what a move, man. What a move on Terry Gordy.
Hey, Jim, I'm just excited. This is the greatest day of my life. You know, this is the greatest day of my life. And we couldn't have done it. You know, we trained real hard. And now we finally did it. We conquered what we set out to do, and I'm just happy, man.
Well, Barry, you're the experienced man on the team, Barry Windham. What are your thoughts right now, Barry Windham? What a move this kid made, and it brought you guys a championship.
I knew that we could do it. Dustin and I studied these guys and watched them day and night. I spent a lot of hours watching films of these guys after the loss that we suffered to them before when we didn't win the championship. I knew that if I got the superplex in there, I knew that we could win these belts. And we've got all 4 of them right here to prove, right around my neck, right here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Barry Windham carrying all the gold. What a...
It's unfortunate that they spoiled it earlier in the show, but that was a pretty good promo. I mean, I don't blame these guys at all. It's not their fault, obviously, but you know, what can you do, right?
Right.
Yeah. Has Eric had his first match yet on TV?
I don't think so. Huh?
No, not yet. It's coming
up, huh?
God help me.
Waiting with bated breath.
Oh, yeah. The nepotism. Oh.
Must be nice.
He's cut a couple of 2 promos or 1? I think 1 so
cares?
far. Yeah. So anyway, we need to rate it, hand out the Toot Toot Award for the week. Before we do so, remember The only way to listen to Halloween Havoc that's coming up is by going to tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. That is tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Also, while I have Crockett here, let me plug the fact that he and I did a patron show revisiting the Herb Abrams Dark Side of the Ring episode from several years ago. We actually did it as a live stream. It was a lot of fun. We got some good stuff in and thoroughly enjoyed it. So check that out as well on Patreon at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. You're standing in for Doc today, Crockett. So what are you going to rate it?
Oh man, it's just the faux pas and the control center just kind of takes everything down a couple notches. First of all, seems like I've been hearing you guys doing shows. Oh, this one's 32 minutes. This one's 41 minutes. This is the full 2-hour show, so that takes it down at least a couple percentage points.
Yeah. The Crockett curse strikes again.
I can't argue with that. So, I mean, you get a couple matches here, a lot of quick squashes. That, of course, the main event is a decent match, tainted by what happened during the control center. I'll say B.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a. See, I always say this with Doc and Harper. I don't like penalizing the wrestlers for the faux pas that the promotion makes, and sometimes those things kind of blend together. In this instance, if we wouldn't have had that mess up, we'd probably give this an A or an A+. But I'm gonna give it an A-, but it's on the border of a B+. Yeah, because it's just there was a lot of good stuff in this. It just was. The whole mess up was just.
I know.
It really taints the whole thing. But I'm gonna give it an A-. Harper, what about you?
I'm giving this a C, bro, because I don't reward bad behavior. Right? Fuck them. They can get no goddamn beat. You think just because you showed up?
Gotta respect it.
Yeah.
No participation trophies for Harper's kids.
No. They fucked up the finish.
All right, fair enough. So then we need to hand out the Toot Toot Award. Crockett, who are you giving yours to?
Oh, Jesus.
By the way, you can give it to a match, a tag team. It doesn't have to be just one person.
Well, you got a reverse Toot Toot for the production team, of course, for that fucking unforgivable error. I mean, I guess I'll give it to the main event. It was a good match. They had plenty of time. But I don't know. I'm not overwhelmed with joy for any of these. I can't really pick out something that stands out like head and shoulders above the rest. So I'll just say the main event.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Barry and Dustin. It's not their fault. Production did the reverse Toot Toot for the week and gave the results away. So Barry and Dustin can get it from me. Harper, what about you?
I'm giving it to Barry and Dustin as well, because at least Dr. Death and Gordy get to fucking leave.
Right.
So
yeah.
So I'm giving it to Barry and Dustin for sticking with it, man.
Do you at all blame Watts for? Either of you blame Watts for maybe not trying to figure it out beforehand so that they wouldn't have been in this situation where he's got to pull the belts off these guys?
I would have done some. Yes. Because those guys wrestle in fucking Japan. I mean, we know that. So you think you would have said, look, before we put the belts on, y'all don't have any fucking obligations to go to Japan or something. Right.
Well, he knew they had obligations. I'm just talking about just squaring it away simply from a point of, look, you got these obligations, but we're going to put the belts on you. We need reassurance that, we're going to get X amount of time from you with the belts. We've already got this working arrangement with New Japan. We understand you.
Is you're dealing with other promotions.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yes,
I
and
feel
so,
like
no,
more due
can't do
diligence
that.
needed to be done before he comes and brings them in and throws the belts on them.
Because we've had problems with that fucking Wildcat. Oh, well, I can't make it that show because I'm booked in dipshit Lone Star Wrestling. Well, you're the fucking, well, you're a champion. I can't make it. Well, then fuck you. So get your phone number. That's why you gotta watch who you put the belts on if they have obligations to other companies.
That's my point. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm a little bit more lenient on an independent standpoint because, like, it's just a different animal.
No
but
any freaking money. Go where the most money
right.
is.
But with this, I feel like
it's not that fucking keys.
Yeah, I just feel like with this, he needed to. I don't know, man. Look, I know it's complicated. They have this working arrangement with another promotion, but the guys are loyal to another promotion in Japan, and it's just very complicated. And I feel like Watts should have. I don't want to put the blame just on Watts, but
yes, fuck that, dude.
Do these guys even have a contract? I don't know how that whole thing works. Like, talking about these contracts, were these guys under contract or?
Right. Come on.
I don't know the specifications on their Japanese contract. I could tell you who they were working for, and I could, which we talked about during the show. But again, that's just one of that's my point. That's making my point. If you know, like, you gotta, man, these wrestling organizations, none of them are perfect, but if you're gonna do what you did with those two guys, put the WCW and NWA tag belts on them, both, you better have it airtight, brother, in terms of what you're gonna do with them, who you're gonna put them with, who's gonna eventually go over on them, and it not be a 3.5 month thing where they barely defended the titles in WCW.
So since they had the NWA belts, were they going to what was left of the NWA and defending those titles and who gives a fuck USA?
No.
No?
I mean, there's the NWA is a shell at this point. Like,
I'm talking about like fucking back then.
No. I mean, they're working shows. Like, I mean, they went back to Japan, but I mean, like, they ain't making no circuit around the territories. The NWA is only a name. I'm gonna piss people off. I think it's only a name at this point.
Right. It's a brand.
It's a brand. It's not a company or
it's a brand. It's not a brewery. It's like what Pabst Blue Ribbon is now.
Yeah.
There is no more Pabst Blue Ribbon brewery.
Yeah.
It's just a brand, and someone else fucking makes the beer, and they just put the
sticker on it.
Can. Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I just think, like, I'm not trying to put it all on Watts, but at some point you have to. You can't make this move to put these belts on these dudes if you don't have a solid plan and know for a fact of what's going to happen. Now, you know how wrestling is. Guys can say, no, Bill, it's no problem. We're good. And, and Bill's taking their word for it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to blame Watts completely, but I just think it's a big mistake to do it the way they did it because they got nothing out of, I don't say they got nothing, but they didn't get much out of Dr. Death is all I'm saying.
Who they beat for the tag team titles?
Steiners. All right. Well, on that note, we're almost done here. Crockett, thanks again for doing the show. You're back with us next week. But before we get out of here, you got anything you want to plug? Got anything you want to add? Now's your time. This is your me time, as you told us when you did the shows with us last summer.
No, man. Thank you for having me. I know, you, Doc, and Harper, you guys are the free birds of wrestling podcasts, and happy that Jimmy Jam shows up every once in a while. So thanks for having me.
Yeah. I was trying to look up the tournament as I was I was putting this in, but I can't seem to find it. So NWA.
Was it promo when it's like, it's not my fault that something? Who was he shooting the promo? I think it was on Wahoo.
Oh man, that's way back.
Oh, you mean in like the mid '80s?
Right, during the Crockett days. The fuck was that promo?
That's a good question.
God damn it! Never mind. Email Michael at MudShowMike on Twitter.
By the way, so they were here before Watts. I was just double checking. So it's kind of unfair to put this on them, on Watts.
I'm sure Watts is blaming the previous administration.
Of course he does. It's always somebody else's fault. Like, come on, you know that. It's always somebody else's fault. But yeah, I was trying to find so they beat the Steiners in the second round. And I was trying to find the Rhodes and Windham, I think, is who they beat. But I could have it wrong.
So this,
I think
he did reference in the promo. Barry did about losing to them before.
I think that's who they beat. I'm not 100% positive, but yeah. So anyway, again, if I got that wrong, DM Harper. He loves hearing from our wonderful listeners. He loves it. He loves it with a passion. He does the Jaworski when our listeners reach out to him. Anyway, on that note, we're gonna get out of here. Harper, you got anything for I have you hit the tagline? See you next week, Crockett. We'll do this again. Harper, let's roll.
Book it, bitch.